Section 5. Hofstadter's political spectrum. In order to illustrate the implications of this notion of the independence of subjective feelings from external stimuli, Hofstadter next considers the inverted political spectrum. Quote, maybe, just to pick a random example, the abstraction of liberty feels to me like what the abstraction of imprisonment feels to you. It's just that we both use the same word liberty for it. And so we are deluded into thinking that it is the same experience for both of us. This sounds pretty unlikely, doesn't it? After all, liberty is pleasant, whereas imprisonment is unpleasant. But then again, who can say for sure? Maybe experiences that I feel are pleasurable are unpleasurable for you, and vice versa. End quote. Hofstadter continues the metaphor of inverting political concepts to include the inversion of political feelings. Quote, maybe that churning feeling that I feel inside me when I run into right-wing flag wavers and pro-lifers, those who dominated in the red states in the 2004 election, is identical to that churning feeling that you feel inside when you encounter left-wing flag burners and pro-choicers, and vice versa. This would be the inverted political spectrum. Are you getting a bit dizzy at this point? Perhaps what you experience as dizziness, I experience as clarity, and vice versa. But let's not go there. End quote. Hofstadter gets to the point of this extended metaphor. He claims that while almost no one believes that we are born with innate political feelings, which can get arbitrarily linked to one political ideology or another, there are actually philosophers who believe that we're born with particular feelings for particular colors, which can get arbitrarily linked to different objects. Hofstadter says, quote, the philosophers who take the inverted visual spectrum with total seriousness would not take the inverted political spectrum in the least seriously. But why not? Presumably because they don't think our brains come from the factory with prefabricated political feelings inside them. Feelings that can be arbitrarily attached to right-wing or left-wing politics as we grow up. And yet they truly do think that we come with knurking and glebing built in, although they don't use my words. End quote. Hofstadter summarizes his rejection of all forms of experience inversion as follows, quote, the inverted spectrum riddle depends on the idea that we are all born with a range of certain pure experiences that have no physical basis but that can get attached as we grow to certain external stimuli. And thus specific experiences and specific stimuli get married, and from then on they are intimately tied together for a lifetime. But these pure experiences are supposedly not physical states of the brain. They are, rather, subjective feelings that one simply has, without there being any physical explanation for them. Your brain state and mine could look as identical as anyone could ever imagine using ultra-fine-grained brain scanning devices. But whereas I would be feeling blueness, you would be feeling redness. The inverted spectrum fairy tale is a feeble mixture of bravado and timidity. While it boldly denies the physical world's relevance to what we feel inside, it meekly limits itself to a one-dimensional spectrum, and to the electromagnetic one to boot. The sonic spectrum is too tied to objective physical events like shaking and vibrating for us to imagine it as being inverted. And if one tries to carry the idea beyond the realm of one-dimensional spectra, it becomes far too absurd to give any credence to." End quote.